Cincinnati 42-28 over the Colts. The Colts, look, we talked about this last week. They are decimated with injuries, and I understand that. And it's not necessarily just Reggie Wayne, but just the injuries overall as a team has seen them fall from being this team that is, I thought, for sure, going to the Super Bowl when they beat the Broncos at home at Lucas Oil. And now they're struggling to beat the Bengals. They had to have 4 or 5 Adam Vinatieri field goals to win last week. What the heck is wrong with this team? Why are they falling so hard from grace?
I don't know, and I asked that question last week, I think, because they're just not the Colts that beat the Broncos at all. None of the energy, none of the fire, nothing. They're just kind of like, wah, wah.
They don't have weapons, and they're falling behind. Trent Richardson has been a disaster for them. Just an unmitigated disaster.
And the Browns look like geniuses.
Yeah.
They really do.
So yesterday, I don't even know the names of the players who scored their 4 touchdowns. Each guy scored 2.
Derek Rogers. Derek
Rogers.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Yeah. Household names. Yeah. So he's making do with those guys. So T.Y. Hilton's a good player, but he's in his, I think, second year. And, second-year players are still a little bit inconsistent. And he's been battling some injuries. Reggie Wayne, his safety blanket is out. Kobe Fleener has been just mediocre. And they've lost some players on the offensive line and the defensive line, and they're falling apart. But, yesterday, I'm so mad at the refs, and this goes to your point, because they really screwed up this game. Because the Colts, as you guys know, momentum matters so much in sports. Because we all know that a little 5% drop-off in effort leads to like an 80% drop-off in production. Because it's a difference between making the tackle for a 3-yard gain versus missing the tackle for a 40-yard gain.
So what was the scenario?
It was 4th and 1, and the Bengals decided to go for it. And the Colts defender dives into the backfield, makes a phenomenal play, clearly grabs his ankle and trips him up. Benjarvis Green-Ellis stumbles forward and falls well short of the goal line.
Was it 4th and 1 or 4th and goal?
It was 4th and goal.
Yeah.
From the 1.
Yeah.
And then he falls short of the goal line, and he kind of like rolls and crawls in. And the ruling on the field is no good, not a touchdown. He was down. Then they review it, and they decide, no, he got in. And they got a touchdown out of it.
That's 4th down.
Those are game-changing moments for a team that's been struggling in the first quarter to get down again 14-0, rather than having this amazing goal line stand. I felt like it just
I understand
broke
what you're
open
saying.
the dams.
I understand what you're saying, that it shifted the momentum of the game. I understand that. Momentum is kind of key, although I think it's Bill Barnwell of Grantland argued that momentum does not exist. We could talk about that later on another day. However, that wouldn't have mattered. Andrew Luck put up 4 touchdowns, and they were still behind. And I understand that, that shifted the game a little, but their defense is so bad. I think I have some of the numbers of how bad their defense is. They've been outscored in the first quarters 49-9. That could be on the offense as well. The Colts defense in the last 7 games, 31 points per game, 401 yards per game, 44% conversion rate for the other team on 3rd down. Their defense is terrible.
First of all, I don't know the answers to why they've fallen off. I was wondering the same thing. But you guys have made some good points here. So, number one, I think that perhaps the guys that are missing on the defensive line are much more important than we realized. Yeah. So whoever they are, I'd look to, pay them a decent amount of money if I'm the Colts when they're healthy this year, next year, whenever it is. Reggie Wayne apparently is enormously important, and we didn't realize how important he was. We all know how great he is. And then I have just an oddball theory, which is that it's possible that Trent Richardson is a cancer in the locker room, right?
Oh.
Because the Browns just ejected him. Not like, hey, we're a little dissatisfied with his performance. Like, hit the eject button, get him the hell out of here for a first-round pick when he was a top first-round pick.
He was number 3.
Right. So since Trent has come to the Colts, other things have happened, like the injuries that are critical, right? But they've started to go,
It's an interesting theory.
Interesting.
I can't back it up because I don't know.
Well,
I understand what you're saying, but I don't know.
I have no idea. And by the way, and I should be clear about this too, because I don't want to needlessly defame the guy. Like, I have no evidence. Like, no one said he's a cancer in the locker room. I'm just saying, like, Trent shows up, they go down, and the Browns hit that eject button super hard.
Meanwhile, the Colts clinched because the Titans lost. The Colts' next 3 games against Houston, at Kansas City, against Jacksonville, Cincinnati, who Andy Dalton is playing great right now, at Pittsburgh, against Minnesota, against Baltimore. The Colts one and done in the playoffs, do you guys think?
They're going to draw either Kansas City or the Ravens.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see them beating either team.
You can't see them beating the Ravens? Not at this point in the season?
The Ravens.
I think
I love that the Ravens have hung around in what appeared to be a disastrous season.
No kidding.
And all of a sudden, it looks like they're going to make the playoffs. Credit all Harbaugh brothers for having alligator blood.